How does it look like on the screen with the...
It looks like the most perfect thing ever.
Good.
So, hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and today is a great show that we're going to have. That's right. And welcome to everyone on Twitch, everyone on YouTube and Facebook, all these places you was watching it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. I'm joined by my two show hosts.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Fuck you too.
No, we're joined by Speckles today.
Speckles.
Simon Speckles.
The worst wargamer in the world, and Mr. Nathan Prescott.
Hi, Knife.
Hello, hello.
The knee-stabbing king.
If this show becomes a bit weird, I've been in hospital today. That's why the crutch is, because I have an infected leg that might get chopped off.
It's gangrenous.
It's not
Have you brought your
gangrenous.
tools with you, Nathan?
I have indeed.
Good.
Go get my chop saw.
So you get the chop saw, and I'll get the soldering iron.
So I also feel like I got a little bit of a fever, so I can't 100% guarantee. I don't know what this show's going to be like, so I just want that out there before we start. Is that okay?
Nice.
You two are healthy.
I've medicated you all day. You should be fine.
You're a professional. You're a
Multiple. Yeah, Dr. Specs.
Dr. Specs.
The ability to stitch lightning bolts.
So, hello to everyone on Twitch. If you want to listen to the podcast, that's great. And obviously, don't forget, we're sponsored by everyone on Patreon and we're sponsored by everyone on Twitch.
Thanks, dudes.
Thank you very
You're
much.
missing another host.
Pardon me?
You're missing the other host who just appeared.
Who? Oh, Jet the dog. Hi, Jet the dog. Also, Jet the dog is in the house. So, we've got loads to talk. He's really happy about that. So, we've got loads to talk about today because there were 3 major events this weekend. Loads to talk about there. Me and Speckles are both doing a unit run now. I'm doing Centigors, and Speckles is doing...
The mortality glass for the Guardian of Souls.
Well, the guy sort of with the mortality.
Yeah.
And also Tristan Gray is getting a formal job offer tonight, boys, which is really exciting.
That's really good.
But most importantly, he also is the winner of November's screen cap competition.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets a box of models to be sent to him.
That's one of
One
these.
One of those.
All of these boxes.
Yeah, one of those box of models. So congratulations, Tristan. If you guys would like to enter the monthly competition to win a box of models, all you need to do is screen cap this, or screen cap any of the shows, and then do some sort of hilarious pick art rubbish. The worse the better, but also the better the better.
So it's better is good unless it's bad, and then it's better.
So basically, if you can do the Robin Hood movie
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
God.
you've been telling me about this
in
today.
a screen cap, then
Yeah,
you
no,
won.
obviously, yeah, that's not... We don't want to spoil the movie, but both me and Nathan have seen the Robin Hood movie in the past week. Nathan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've heard his thoughts. Does the movie remind you of a different movie, apparently?
Yeah, well, nearly all of the different movies. Not of any of the Robin Hood ones.
I was thinking it must have plenty of movies out there it can
It
just take
reminded
bits
me of
from.
Black Hawk Down.
Oh, that's very different from what you do. What kind of film were you two watching? And what were you doing while watching the film?
Just depends which bit of it you're watching.
I watched The Dark Knight in
Yeah.
Nottingham, which Nottingham was a coastal town. I was just like...
In
it
Game
was,
of Thrones.
Hello, he says hello to Speckles, and also your
Hello.
potential nemesis for best sports photos, Ailey Mack, is in the chat.
I need to beat him this time. I was getting close, and then he won Best Sports completely.
He's just very charming.
He is.
He's very charming.
It's all a lie.
Huh?
It's all a lie. Just sits at the back cackling, holding his trophies. Going, they'll never know.
So yeah, if you just joined us, you missed it. If I say any weird shit, I'm sorry. You just have to listen back as to why. So just let's crack on, shall we?
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
You guys well?
We've got all our legs. We're
I've
fine.
got my leg. He's
Yeah,
just
but our legs work.
up in this hilarious on a pillow covered in ice position. It's really swollen, but it doesn't smell. And I feel like everything I learned in
Austin
Saving
Powers.
Private Ryan taught me, if it smells, you're done for. So I'm...
Austin Powers taught me almonds. If it smells like almonds, chop it off.
Chop it
That's
off.
it, gone.
Nathan, did you learn any African skills?
No, don't chop it off.
Just shoot them instead.
Hi, Pete Pratt. Yeah, I have spent a little bit too long in the trenches. Hi, El Capitan, WS10, and Tomlet. And then also, Heralicious, thanks for subscribing 4 months in a row.
Yeah.
That's great. So, have you guys done any Warhammer this week, in the past week?
I did quite a bit last weekend.
Okay.
Not the one just gone, the one before. And you guys were there.
Crimbobos.
For Crimbobo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quite a lot there.
You had a good time, right?
It was amazing. Really, really was. And Pete in the chat, fantastic first game. Definitely a good grudge. And I grudged him on this show.
Oh, that's Pete Pratt in the chat, not Pete.
Oh, sorry, Pete. Yeah, Pete from Fridge, sorry, yeah. I did grudge him on the show, though, Pete, and it was a really good game, especially with the possible leaf-shaped thing above a glass and something coming out of a bottle called absinthe. It warms you as you go.
You played Warhammer on absinthe?
Yes, at 9 a.m. That was it was quite good.
Not that in any way I suggest doing this, and as someone who's never taken drugs in his life, apart from medicinal ones, I wouldn't advise it. But I imagine playing a game of Warhammer high on acid would be a thing.
That would probably freak you out quite well. More time spent under the table than cowering from your model.
What do you think?
I reckon it'd be a thing. If you listen to Legends of the Painting Man, he describes a game where he played Warhammer whilst he was high on
marijuana.
Yeah. I was like, and I was in the tower and I was watching them ride by, like, I was like, this guy.
The ultimate endless spells, they're real. It's coming towards me.
Yeah. So yeah, it can draw you into the narrative maybe.
High synchronise, I think it would be a really interesting trip. Personally, if we have 2 volunteers somewhere in the world,
where it's legal,
I reckon we could film that. That would be the most interesting bat rep.
That's where you need those Nighthaunt dice, all in pitch black, just rolling dice.
Oh, imagine,
I think if you're high on acid, you would have no clue.
Imagine you were high on acid and you were using the Deepkin dice. You'd be like,
what is this? See numbers anymore?
I've just rolled a 46 on one dice.
And then obviously in Canada, weed is legal now, so everyone is high all the time.
There you go.
It's a new state of being.
That will determine the new meta.
Can you imagine that one guy that isn't high on weed though, and he's like, I'm like living in fast forward. I'm the Flash.
I just don't understand how he gets his games done so fast.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, good. Nathan, you doing Warhammering this week? Warhammering?
Yeah.
Warhammering.
I've done loads.
What you done?
Played a game. I did some work over at Nick's place.
Yeah.
So I went down to the WS10 club night.
Cool.
Got to play against El Capitan Stuart and his Nagash. So that was good fun. I took the Dispossessed down there because they travel nice and easy.
They do travel nice and easy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? We booked our tickets to fly over to Adepticon.
Yeah.
So have you decided, are you going to take your dwarves over there because they're easy to carry? Although we're playing loads in Warhammer.
Yeah, I might take the dwarves and maybe some groths depending on what happens with the groths. But yeah,
when they come.
Yeah, because there'll be some. There'll be some good guy. There'll be.
Is there a grot battle tome coming out?
Apparently, there's this
Rune
moon-shaped thing.
Yeah.
That's the next battle tome. But then, as Donal says in the Moon Clan chat, they're probably cancelling battle tomes now, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a con. Ha!
Yeah.
It's not Moon Clan, it's Moomin.
Moomin.
The Moomin battle tome.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
That would be a good battle tome for acid players.
I don't think that should be a thing that we make. Wait, what did I miss? Really important things, says Tristan Gray on the Honest Wargamer. That would be weird. Well, fuck you, Tristan.
Turn that
hope you
phone
get your
off.
job.
Oh, the professional.
Yeah, and also, obviously, we have our phones off. So, this weekend, let me tell you about... Can I tell you about... We're going to do our news section. Shh. Was meant to have a video ready. I was in hospital. Sorry, no video now. News section. So, there were some events this weekend. That's in the news. Yeah. There was Twitter beef in the news. That's today. There was... forgot. Balls.
Masters? Multiple Masters?
I said that, the events is.
Yeah.
Yeah, smashed it. So there was the events, there was that, and there was something else I forgot. Oh yeah! The Honest Wargamer website. Yeah, where we can quickly look and see who's currently the top of the list. So, in list rundowns, the most upvoted list on the website is currently Mr. Laurie Huggett Wild with his Winterleaf Plus narrative Phoenix list.
Very narrative. Very narrative.
Very narrative. He's also had 822 views and has had 55 upvotes. But 3 places behind him is the grot terrorist himself, Mr. Donal Taylor, with his grot You Can't Touch This list, which has got 52 upvotes and 538 likes.
Wow.
So, if you get the opportunity, Donal, and if you're a big grot fan, you can maybe jump on there, share it around the internet, and you can make it so grots are the first list ever on the honest-wargamer to hit 1,000 views.
Oh.
That would be quite cool.
That would be cool. And in 3rd place is The Best Iron Jaws by Mr. Vince Funtrella of Mr. Warhammer Weekly himself, using his podcast power to really push him up to 740 views.
That's quite good.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
Also on the website this week are 2 featured lists, which is cool. So if you go on there, we always feature some lists. We're going to be changing them up today, but over the past week, the featured lists have been The Triple Bang, The Monster Mash They Never Saw Coming by Peter Atkinson. Which is pretty brilliant if you go read it. And also Give Thyself to Chaos with Our Lord Archeon by Mr. Adi Mack himself, who's in the chat.
Nice. Very good.
One of the hosts of Sheffield Slaughter along with Mr. Pete Scully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it will be a very good event. And news, I think, is it tonight the tickets go on sale? I think AD will confirm yes or no. I'm sure it's tonight.
On Tuesday night, yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. And then my Stitcher FB says, wish we could sort my date. Maybe that's something we could add. But if there was a new version of the game, it would change around. And then, so that's all cool on the website. That's useful. There is going to be a new featured list this week, and we're going to have. Sometimes we'll have 2, yeah. But this week we're only going to have 1, and our featured list.
The featured list will be.
Our featured list this week will be none other, yeah.
I can't keep this going for long.
Mick Wendell. Because Mick Wendell, and this is my segue into the chat about the events. Mr. Mick Wendell won a 22-man event this weekend in Northern Ireland, yeah, with Gutbusters.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Bonkers.
Skills.
Very skilled.
What was he playing?
Very skilled.
Huh?
What was he playing?
He played against Colin Crane's daughters of Cain.
Oh,
well, not against them, but they're in the same field.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
solid field.
It was a solid field of good gamers with good armies. And then he played daughters first round and smashed them up.
That's pretty cool.
And I think he's also doing 5 times better than any other Gutbusters player ever has.
Yeah.
Skill.
That's really impressive.
So that'd be good to look at that list.
Yeah, we can.
On that website.
Because it is there.
It's there, and if you actually, and it was not no surprise because I think Mick would have had to do incredibly well to actually do really successfully with that list. But he lost to Colin.
Yeah, say he lost Colin.
Thank you very much. He lost to Colin, but he got 4 majors.
Yeah.
And Daughters of Cain was his only loss. But there's the rundown, and if you go and read it, you'll see just how in-depth it is, which really does go to show your level of mastery, I think, when you're able to make a rundown. Like, when you can see how well people have got a hold of their army when they do a rundown, I think.
So do Gutbusters need to be nerfed now?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. That's actually the entire topic of the show.
I think Mikos would love that.
Shall we nerf Gutbusters and how?
Well, just make the points go up. Massively. All of it.
All
by at least 100 points.
Per unit.
And watch Nikos cry. brings out his unit of 3 Gutbusters at 420 points.
Nathan, how would you nerf the Gutbusters? Because they clearly deserve it.
I would include Firebellies in their faction.
That would nerf them.
That would nerf them.
Yeah, that would nerf them, but they might get more painting awards. Hi, Chuckleberry!
Hey, dude.
There are already Facebook posts calling for a 10% increase across the board. My advice, don't go on those Facebook posts.
I said double it.
20%.
Just flat double. 50% increase on everything.
Also, why is the worst AOS player in the world on the telly?
Because you were stuck for a nurse.
Huh?
You were stuck for a nurse for the day, so I'm stuck here.
You were?
Yeah.
I got to say, big shout out to Speckles. He picked me up from hospital, spent the entire day just being a real nice guy. Nathan took me to hospital, so actually, if you put all that together, 'cause it's not really complicated to do, you'll see that Warhammer players have just helped me be awesome all day. So thank you very much to you guys, and just show how great our community are.
Well, it was until I've just seen What, Pete's just called me? I'm just being so nice to him as well.
That's Pete's word for
somebody.
For love you.
That's what he loves.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Although Chuckabutty has been ripping me to pieces, and my son yesterday has been watching the feedback from Bobo event, and he was laughing his head off, saying, "How come you're the worst player in AOS?" I'm like, I'm not that bad.
That's what I'm going to tell everyone.
So he's now gone, like, I'm better than you, because he plays every now and again, so he thinks now he's far better than me, because it's been officially announced on telly, I'm the worst. Yeah.
I'm real sorry.
I'm calling Adam out, I need to play him.
Okay, I mean, that won't be
and he will have.
That'll be.
Right, so I think Mick Wendell deserves, like a shout out. So
he deserves a second
his
award.
rundown is going to be the featured list on the website for the next week. So if you listen to the podcast, if you just go on the honest-wargamer, it'll be on the sidebar. Or if you just type in and drop down the faction to Gutbusters, his list will be there. You should leave a comment, you should share it, you should upvote it. I think the victory deserves a round of applause. I also think the fact that there's such a, like, other people are like, I really like fat lads with big sticks. It's like, no problem. Yeah.
Try these.
He sorted you out a fantastic, and you should read it. It's a really, really good rundown. So I think it's worth, in my opinion. I hope you get well soon. Thanks very much. Thanks for everyone wishing me. I hope I get well soon too. Or I hope I get a cool bionic leg or a cool pirate leg.
Yeah.
One way or another, me and Nathan are chopping it off.
Right, didn't B-Score Raiders win something this weekend too? I didn't hear about that, so that's sad. Can't not love Speckles, there we go. So, with the exception of Mick smashing it up in Northern Ireland, which I think is excellent, you had 3 Masters events run around the world this weekend. Do you know where they were? I know you know Speckles.
I know.
Pick one of them, of the 3. Which country do you love the most?
Let's go with the one I can remember, which was New Zealand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nathan, did you know that there was one in New Zealand?
One what? I'm joking.
And
Yes.
Did you know?
Yes, there was one.
All right.
I heard there was one.
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah.
So this weekend, the New Zealand Masters were hosted by Nick Jebson and Tim Lind.
Good lads.
Well done, Nick and Tim. You are excellent.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for such a huge week for just real smashing lads, like I was like, oh, maybe we should give an award out. And then as I was going through the show notes, I was like, just everyone's pretty.
Everyone's doing well. Yeah.
Everyone's just doing really well. So also Merry Christmas. But yeah, Nick and Tim, and then the first and master was Mr. Sean Tubman, AOS Tubbs, if you want to add him, with Daughters of Cain, DOK.
And how many?
So you're not the only one with a crutch then.
Oh, wow, Sean, please direct all of your pictures to us, Nathan. That'd be great. Second and best death was James Page with Legion of Sacrament. And third,
The best one
was Lee Wilmot with Silverdeath.
Nice.
not bad.
Legion of Sacrament. Cool.
Yeah.
And also, what's really fun is what you're going to notice is so far, Death haven't won this one.
Haven't won that tournament.
They haven't won that tournament. Well, so we're talking about the Masters.
Second.
We're talking about the Masters events. Yeah, so far, Death.
No doubt.
Daughters of Cain won. Daughters of Cain really high match percentage. They could do super well, but they haven't. Yeah.
They're not that bad. I mean, I don't know why everyone has a problem with one command point.
Oh my god! Shut up.
How many death players were there?
I don't have the stats rate. I do have the stats rate, but I'll go check in a minute. Nathan, you've got 2 other Masters events to shout out. Which were they?
Western Samoa.
They actually, weirdly, they only got 4 people attending, and they used small
And did one drop out as well?
They proxy a lot in Western Samoa.
With rugby players.
Yeah, they use them instead. Pick, so you got between Australia or the cold, powerful north.
Oh, let's stick with the far, hot, dry places. Let's go Australia.
Okay, I think it's their wet season, but I'm not sure.
Is it ever wet? It's just hot.
Yeah, they just have a dry and a wet season.
Yeah,
I don't think they have hot and cold. It's basically always hot to us.
Yeah.
So Australia, now it was hosted by the Heralds of War, and if you want to watch it back on the Heralds of War Twitch, you can watch the entire thing because it was live streamed. They had some great commentators. Clint himself did it. AOS Coach, who I think is in the chat, did some.
He's in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, Thonius did some as well. Oh, fuck me, my leg. Shit. Thonius did
Get that saw. Get that saw.
Thonius did some as well, and it was really cool, worth watching, really nice. They had a roving cam, which was exciting. Cool. Yeah, that was exciting, and yeah, that's what they did this weekend.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so you can watch that on the Heralds of War. Yeah, and if you want to watch any of that, and those guys have got some cool feedback for it. But I think it's a world's first, I'm not sure, I'll have to check. The master, Dave Kerr, the previous master, Dave Kerr, back to back with Stormcast. He's taken it out again. I don't know if he took Stormcast last time, but he won it.
Cool.
That's impressive.
He must have skills.
Yeah. Or a crutch.
Yeah.
Like yours. Instead of plastic, have plastic sequiturs or evocators.
Also, it's Deep Impact, the darling of the deep. I wonder in the chat. So yeah, big shout out to Dave. He's got to feel over the moon.
That has been impressive though.
Yeah,
twice in a row.
I think I shouted out that I thought his list was great, but I can't remember. But really importantly, I had 3 Stellar Star Ballisters, which I really like that list. The lists are on the Honest Wargame website. So
6 Dracoline lists.
Yeah, it had
they're
6,
really powerful. I played against them once, and they were just like no idea what they were going to do, and then bang, just took out my whole unit of Reapers.
Yeah. But Nathan, say something about that, because it looks like you've got a thought.
No, sounds awful.
6 Dragolines. Well, you can. So they start with a 3-up save base, and you can +1 save, so they can be rocking around 5 wounds each with a 2-up save, which is pretty sweet.
On the charge, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, sound pretty choppy if they can take out loads of Reapers.
Easy. It just plough through them because they do the mortal wounds as well, don't they? I'm sure they do mortal wounds from them.
Yeah. There are evocators on top of them.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good. But they are like they're a big ass bully unit.
Yeah.
But there was more to it as well. There was 10 sectors, but the 3 ballisters I think is I'd be really interested to talk to Dave and see how he rated the ballisters in the list, because I think that they actually would have done some work, truth be told. So yeah. And then Matt Campbell came second with Corn. He was 3rd last year. And then Chris Welfare, so big shout out to him, with Sylvaneth. So that would have been the Dreadwood Wargrove Wham Smash. So that's cool. And obviously you can watch it back on the Heralds of War Twitch.
Cool.
Yeah, those guys got to be chuffed.
There's no death whatsoever in the top 3 there, are there?
Right? I thought Australia making it real. They're just like, no leaders in the gash, get up here, get out of here.
It's good. The worse they do, the better I'll be when the FAQ comes out. So it's fine. 4 players in Australia too. Isn't the Gas had 4 players in Australia?
So
not top 3.
4 in New Zealand and 4 in
Aussie. Nice.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. And in the final, I get to pick this one, which I'm proud of. I get to go to the Scottish roots. You get the Northern Masters. And it was won by Mr. Nathan Watson with Ironeth. Lee Martin came in second with Dr. Kane, and Adam Turner with Stormcast. So I don't know if that's the first podium with Ironeth that we've seen, but it's one of the rarer few. Ironeth tend to hit that 4-on-1
I don't
fall off.
think I've ever seen any.
Huh?
I've not seen any Ironeth winning anything.
Well, the Darling and the Deep at Grimbobo did actually win 5 games. Just did not win the
one of them was a minor though.
Yeah, one of them was a minor and it came second, so that's obviously smashing. But what's really cool, 3 lots of Masters event from all around the world this weekend, and none of them were won by death.
Oh, that FAQ's going down and down. Reapers, 100 points a unit.
So it's the second podium with Ironeth. And it's the second first place that has happened in the world since AOS 2 came out.
Oh, okay.
So currently, if you go to Australia and you want to beat the best player in the world, or in Australia, according to this, you have to beat Mr. Dave Kerr. If you go up to Scotland, you have to beat Mr. Nathan Watson. If you travel over to New Zealand, you have to beat Mr. Sean Tubman. And if you want to go and get your face kicked in and be embarrassed by getting beat by Gutbusters, go over to Northern Ireland and Mick Wendell will just teach you how to roll some dice.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Yeah, so well done to the Masters.
So basically, we're looking at nerfing Gutbusters and giving Death a leg up.
Yeah, we need a bit of help.
Currently, based on this week's results, nerf
the Gutbusters.
Oh my god.
You're really going to struggle. Just hold up cards. Just going.
Right, so well done to those guys. I think that they've done great. Hopefully they write some write-ups. I know Mick's obviously done his, some of the other guys. It'd be great to see them do write-ups on their Wargamer with their list and how they worked and what they liked.
It'd be interesting to see what the England Masters do and who wins that. If it's not death as well.
Yes.
Because they've got the list.
So you have the English Masters event coming up soon.
Because all the people are in it.
Sometime in January.
Yeah.
Just to see where the Masters are from all over and what kind of stuff they're using.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Some hot goss leading up to that event.
Yeah.
It's going to be lots of. Pick a favourite, Nath. Who do you think is going to win? Predict it.
Darren Watson.
Good shout. Speckles, your choice.
Jack.
I'll pick you.
Jack
Armstrong has declined the invitation. So
has he declined?
He failed massively there.
Well, that's fucked. What about Russ Veal? Because that could bring death up.
It's declined the invitation. You're doing great at this.
Who's left up there? Donal. Yes, we'll go with Donal. Thank you. That's what I think. I was like,
just wait.
he's declined it as well, hasn't he? Guts forever. Is anybody going to the England Masters?
People.
Darren Watson.
Yeah, Darren Watson's going.
Ben Sava, the hottest man in the world.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Ben
go with
Sava's
Mr.
going.
Ben Sava.
Me and Ben Sava had I had a phone call with Ben Sava this week, which was really great.
Was he drinking his vegan tea?
All right, Ben. He's like, well, hold on.
Was he talking on one of them like this?
The gramophone. Well, he actually just sent me several telegrams. That's what I responded to.
Hey, maybe you can use your fax machine with
Yeah.
Got put money on Laurie. Wow, Bruce Hammer says. So I think the My Hills might be able to go as well. My legs fall apart. Right. Great roundup of news this weekend.
Yeah.
You happy with that? So I also have some hot stats, which I'm going to do the proper stat show another day. And LOV has been just in the background. Also, if you go to the Australian Masters, LOV was doing in-between round predictions using some algorithms. Just scared the crap out of me, but it looked amazing.
Is LLV just a computer? Is he a real person or just a computer? I don't think he's real to be able to do all this.
Yeah. Is it Lotan, the guy with the squid?
Yes.
Yeah, only because obviously he's now based in Canada. He's got like 14 mooses helping him.
Just remembering everything.
Doing it all. But he has sent me some really interesting stats, which again, like I said, I'll do the proper show tomorrow. However, do you want to hear what these are? What the hell? We're all silent. Stop. Hear a dog snore.
It's just his head resting on the table doing it.
Perfect. Well done, Jack. We respect
woke
that.
him up now. You sit.
So the big news is the Daughters of Cain have maintained their match win percentage at being 76%, but Kin are up to 65%, which I think is a big deal. So 76% win rate for Daughters of Cain. How do you feel about that?
I played them. I just can't chew through that many things and get to that one little hag that seems to buff 4 armies worth.
Just want to get them.
I just need to kill that hag. It needs to die.
It needs to die.
It really does.
Death not got anything where it can snipe dudes out, because I played against Nagash. I went and played at WS10 and I thought it was a fairly fluffy list. Where I took the Grudge-bound Warthrong, so you take an Unforged. So I thought, well, taking him.
You can't say fluffy.
A narrative.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. If you say fluffy, then someone else says WAAC, and then everyone gets fucking triggered because no one's decided what words mean at the minute.
That's alright. They can mean whatever they want.
A fun list.
I took a fluffy list. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I'm listening.
And with the Unforged, and so I gave him the Sword of Justice, the Axes of Justice, and then I told Stuart.
So that's the weapon that does more D6 mortal wounds to heroes and monsters on a roll of a 6.
Yeah, this naked fella has got
the chopper of justice,
Axes of Judgment.
Yeah.
So he's like, right, that guy obviously has to die. He's a movement 4 dude, but he didn't stop him.
He can't get. Unless you're in front, they're blind.
Yeah.
The only way I can snipe, and the only way I've been doing it, is using the Quicksilver swords.
Yeah.
And just launching
It's
them.
like
That's a
that
good
meme.
idea.
You seen that guy who's tapping his head? He's like, can't hand a dust a big important model if I don't have a big important model. Which I think is the right way to go about it. So yeah, good. Whatever Nathan just said, I'm sure it was.
Well, not really. Not for me.
Legions and Nagash are still the most populous faction that you're going to encounter. And Daughters of Cain have overtaken Legion and Nagash again in their top 3 placings. So when you if you're going to go first, second, or third, Daughters of Cain are back at the top of that pile again.
I like to think I helped bring them down before the FAQ with just 3 wins at Bobo.
Good job.
Brought it down. Although I did make Liam get 4 wins, and he played Legion of Death as well, Nagash as well. So it didn't really help too much.
And the important point to note of that, obviously, is that not quite a third, but there's only 5% of representation with Daughters of Cain armies around the world, but Legion of Nagash represents like 12%. So even though they have like 2.5 times the numbers of armies, Daughters of Cain armies still, in total, have placed in the top 3 more than the Death armies, and I think that's quite a massive stat if you take that into account.
It is a big stat, but I think because there's so much variety in those Legion of Death and Legion of Nagash lists, with all the new Nighthaunt stuff being launched into it as well, I think with the Daughters of Cain, it's a little bit more compact. Like, this works really well. Just put some hags in it and you're winning. Whereas Death, you have to do all sorts of different ideas. And I'll try this, or I'll try that, and I'll try this. And there's a lot more variety.
Yeah, okay. I'd agree with that. I think Marathi is really solid as well, but a lot of people don't take her. There's lots to be said about the Daughters.
Daughters of Cain book is a quite a balanced book in Tourney.
Yeah.
Everything in it is fairly useful. I mean, maybe the stabby harpies and the shooting snakes are the ones you don't see, but everything else you'll see in competitive lists, a combination of, or or just spamming of
Witch elves,
or stabby snakes, Marathi, the cauldrons, the Medusa.
What really triggers me, that bloody avatar.
Really?
When he gets awakened and you're like, oh, I'll go kill that cauldron, and the avatar's like, swamp.
No, you're not.
Swamp. He's a git.
He's a beast when he gets going.
Just stick Nagashi in and Olaf untouchable. Nagashi's pretty solid. Alright, so wait, hold on, there's a few more stats. I'm sorry, they're meant to be on the site, but like I said, hospital, so just got to deal with it as a thing. It's broken, boys.
You broke it.
I broke it. And then the final stats, that's it, that's all I got so far. There's more to say, but my brain's hurting.
Well, what's that name? Harad, after losing his lost to Daughters of Cain with his Legion of Nagash in a turn and a half. I did about the same against Squig Nick the Squig champ with his Daughters of Cain. He just whomped me. But I think they were the snakes. I just couldn't touch those. But the witches tend to go. They tend to go down a lot quicker. They're not as strong as the snakes, I don't think.
No.
So look for witches instead of snakes, and then you'll do all right. That's kind of my overview of it all.
All right. So do you want to hear a regional breakdown? Because obviously we've had all the events around the world right now. Yeah. So there's also a regional breakdown, which I think is really interesting. So these are the meta percentages for different places. So the most popular army in UK and Europe. Yeah. UK, is it UK and Europe still? Or is it UK plus Europe? Does the UK have to have its own one soon?
Oh, the same continent.
Oh, yeah. Same continent. Each continental choice.
Deal. All right, I'll go with that. We'll do it based on the ground.
Yeah.
The most popular army is Legion of Nagash, and in second place, Stormcast Eternals. However, if you go to Canada and the US, I did Canada first because it's better, right? They've got their most popular army is Stormcast, and in second place is Legion of Nagash. And then in Australia, it's Stormcast, and then again Legion of Nagash.
So everyone's really sensible, knowing that that's probably the cheapest armies they can buy as well.
Yeah, Daughters of Cain in the UK and Europe are performing the best. However, that's different in the US and Canada, where it's actually Legions of Nagash. And then in Australia, it flips back and goes back to Daughters of Cain, which is cool, with Stormcast tied, actually. So there you go. So no matter where you are, Daughters of Cain, Legions of Nagash,
And Stormcast.
That's the thing.
How's it working over Japan?
Pardon me?
What about Japan with their tournament scene? Is it just the one tournament?
Yeah, so far.
Ah.
Super into every army was just eels. Every single one. Apart from one guy
The
who had
sushi
an
list.
entire waifu army. Do you want one of those in speckles?
Not a clue. Not a clue. I went, yeah, great.
Okay, great. Alright. Hey, Des. So, old Dan and Superfly said, did you break it like... Oh, I don't know. He said, did you break your dick kicking floor? I did break my dick kicking floor. My dick kicking floor. Right.
That's where you got the infection from.
Yeah. So you got anything interesting? Anything you're thinking about all these international tournaments? What do you guys think?
Well, I'm trying to think now. I've kind of come to the end of my tournaments for the year and what I want to do next. That's my next thing. I don't know whether...
And do the stats and also that knowledge change or help you with those thoughts?
It does. It means I don't want to do Daughters of Cain because I like thinking out the box, and I don't think they're for me, really. Because I just don't want to paint that many models, to be fair. I've done quite a lot.
So you like thinking out the box?
Yeah. I don't want to go straight to the Daughters of Cain, Stormcast, Death. I'm already in Death, but I was there before they were good. I was there right at the beginning when we were rubbish at everything.
It's arguable they're still not that good, but...
Yeah, well, yeah.
Not based on the stats, though.
No, but I think I might just, after a little chat today, I think I might stick Death for a while.
Stick Death?
Yeah, for next year.
Okay.
Possibly.
Alright, solid. Nathan? What about hearing all this stuff? What does it make you feel and think?
Dispossessed still the best?
Well, yeah, Dispossessed and Grots forever, obviously.
Obviously.
I probably wouldn't be looking at the stats if I was choosing an army for myself, like yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not that bothered about what they are. But if you're going to a tournament and you want to have a rough idea of what you're going to be fighting against, and you think you're going to be a competitive player, then obviously you've got to be prepared to beat Legions of Nagash and Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, at least the stats are telling you what you need to know how to beat.
Yeah, so you've got to prep for handling. Well, so if you're playing against Death, it looks like you want to be taking out that general, stop them resurrecting stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to control grave sites, stop them doing that sort of stuff. So, because I think that's where the Death army is, their ability to keep coming back. I mean, they're fairly choppy, but they're not. That's not their main output. Their output isn't their main strength. It's their
ability to stay there.
Yeah, their ability to come back and just keep on coming at you in waves. And then Daughters of Cain is obviously just high damage and quite quick. So you've got to be able to deal with units that you don't want to get too close to. Or until when you do get close to them, you want to be able to get close to them and sort them out, and then make sure you're not too close to the other ones that are in the same area.
Could agree with you more.
So
could agree with you more, which is why we've got 2 rundowns lined up to do something very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess that's what the stats are there for. Therefore, to help you with, if you're thinking.
I think at least knowing what the population of armies are is really quite important. And then there being a proven veracity to the claim that Unit X or Unit Y is so much better than the other 2 units. Like that's such a helpful set of guidelines to start to work towards or understand.
Well, it's quite nice. I mean, you look at armies that aren't doing so well, and you think there's got to be a way that somebody hasn't seen yet how to make that army do well.
Well, I think there is.
Like the Order Draconis with Pete and Paul smashing up with those. Which, I mean, no one ever thought they'd be tearing up the tables. but all of a sudden, bam, they are.
So which armies are you talking about?
The Order Draconis.
I know, but when you say it, they need to know.
Oh, so yes, the Order. I said Order Draconis.
Oh, right, sorry.
But yeah, the Order Draconis lists.
All right.
I mean, no one would have suspected that, especially you, as you specifically said on this show that you didn't think it'd be any good.
Which?
The Order Draconis.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and then...
Thanks for reminding me, Speckles.
It's all right. Well, you're trying to catch me out, so I thought I'd throw it back in.
I'm in a perfectly okay place to be attacked publicly.
I brought you meds, that's it.
They're just much better than I gave them credence for. But I called it on the Grimgrass Reapers. Dude, our day... Speckles, lovely man, an average Warhammer player, 100 bits. Completely fair.
Thanks for the average. It's better than worst.
Colonel Cameron says, do you think we'll see some Beast of Chaos armies in the future? I do think we will see some Beast of Chaos armies. I also think we're going to see some shooting armies just around the corner.
Yeah.
Also, if they don't get fixed, some Seraphon armies.
Oh god, yeah.
Some of the stuff that happened over the weekend. But it's alright, Rob said Daughters of Cain were just Iron Jaws that were less survivable. They are! Like, I called it. I said everyone's going to run Hagnar. They're going to take the 5 up. Yeah, that's all they're going to do, and they're going to have a cauldron with their character, and that's going to be their list. And that's just been the list ever since we did the review. Yeah, and then I said you can just beat this army by chaffing it. And do you know what? 10 months later, everyone was like, do you know what I won't do? I won't bother chaffing on that army. I just can't be arsed. Yeah? And then they go, why am I losing? And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just hard to chaff when it chews through the chaff like a chainsaw.
Yeah, but like, you can only kill that one unit.
Oh,
The difference between chaff and the difference between like an anvil unit that can take it. Yeah. Although that White King rundown that we read today.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That one White King can take on an entire unit of 30 Witch Elves on his own.
Probably knock them back into next week. Just one dude on a 1-up save.
He sounds great.
He does. I was like, I need to stick that model in my list now. He needs to go in. In fact, I might just take out the Necromancer and put him in.
Yeah. It was a cool rundown. Who did it? Who wrote it?
I can't remember his name.
So sorry if you've been listening.
I can find it. Do you want to find it?
No, it's fine. Don't worry. Right. Okay. So that's been the news. We're going to just end this podcast here if you wanted to listen. I'm so sorry because I can just hear that I'm just a fucking moron today. But is anything you want to add to that? Anything you want to add to the end of the news? I'm sure there was some more, but whatever.
No, I'm alright.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good. Alright, thanks for listening.
Get well soon, Rob.
Yeah. Thanks everyone on Patreon and Twitch. Alright, so let's do some rundowns.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Start recording. We're going to do Speckles' rundown.
Oh, I thought you might do
So, welcome to honest-wargamer. I'm your host Rob. We're joined by loads of people on Twitch, including Dan Unsupervised, Master Kamal, LLV, Pete Pratt, Colonel Cabbage, Scarsy Prosser, Dude Day, and JPick. And loads more people. So welcome to the show. You should join us every Monday. This is sponsored by everyone on Twitch and Patreon. You guys are the best. And then today we are going to do a unit rundown. Yeah, because Mr. Simon Speckles himself. Yeah,
I've actually done some stuff.
The modest Warhammer player.
The worst Warhammer player.
You've written your own unit rundown on the Warhammer website.
I have.
So before we go on to it, how did you find the experience?
Once we put him in it, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it was really good. The only thing that the more I pushed up, the more I was going in depth into it, the more it made me think what else I could do with it. So it was expanding how I was using that unit in the first place. As now I've just thought of about 3 different lists that I can stick that one model in that will make it go fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been talking, I think, a horrific Nighthaunt list with 40 odd hex race just running across the board.
Nice.
Doing a lot of damage. Although I just don't quite want to make 40 hex race. That's the only downside of it.
No one does. Alright, cool. So we're going to do. So you find the experience quite fun?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah. Now I need to do a list rundown now and a few others and start checking them all out.
I did one on Centigor. What's really interesting, I did them only in Nurgle, and I think I'm going to, over the next few weeks, or maybe in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to go back and having done it, not only in Centigor and Beast of Chaos, but Centigor in, because they can be used in every single other, well, no, they can be used in the other 4 Chaos God allegiances. So actually, incredibly versatile as a unit, realistically, thanks to the factions that are in the Beast of Chaos list. The Beast of Chaos seem to be one of the most valuable one of the most value armies I could think to buy at the minute. Because if I bought, let's say, 30 Bestigor, I can, as well as the other units, but if I take the battalion with them in, they can now be a Khorne army, or then I can switch up in there now a Tzeentch army, or I can switch up in there a Slaanesh army, or I can obviously run them as their core Beast of Chaos army. So it seems like a really...
It's huge amount of choice.
Valuable... Yeah. It's kind of like going Slaves to Darkness, only not quite as like 80s homoerotic. less Conan, and more Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. It is really good, the Beast of Chaos. I have been looking at those as well.
I still think that's a good book, that.
The Beast of Chaos book? I think it's great. But we're not doing that right now. We are doing the Guardian of Souls.
With?
The Jedi Aiden.
The Jedi what?
That would be cool if he had that, but no, not that. No, What's he got?
The Mortality Glass.
Okay.
The Mortality Hourglass.
Okay, and that is that is a very specific model.
Very specific and very difficult to get hold of model unless you can proxy it. You have to go to a GW store, get it on the anniversary birthday, pre-order it on that day, and then wait the week after the birthday to get it. But it's the only way you can even get the actual War Scroll.
On a full moon with the virgin.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's loads of those in GW stores.
Yeah. You could probably just do the store manager and you'd be great.
Yes, that's it.
The special edition model that you can get from only store openings at some point. So if anyone wants this, try and find someone on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere in the world who is got a local store opening to them, and then get them to send you some.
Or,
I'm sure there are some on eBay as well. Ridiculous markup price.
Or you just get a Guardian of Souls and a teeny tiny hourglass, and you're golden.
Including
that's it. Just glue them together. That's it. Done.
If anyone in the world says that's not the model,
it is
the fucking table.
Yeah. Job. That's it. I'm out.
I don't want to talk to you.
Glue him to the model as well.
Yeah. Right. So, did you read? I did say to this Speckles. Did you read the narrative for them?
I have the narrative for him. I didn't read the narrative.
It's called the narrative. Stop making Phil Kelly sound.
I can find it on here. It is. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get because it's only on. Once you buy the model, you get the bit of paper with it, which actually has it on. Because you don't get it in any apps or anything like that. Here we go. Do you want me to read the fluff narrative, whatever you want to call it?
I would like that, please. It's because the consumer wants it.
The consumer. Yeah. The Guardian of the Souls protects that which is rightfully belonged to Nagash. When gifted a mortality glass, a Guardian can bend time, using the device to slow foes to a nightmarish crawl, or channeling the power to grant unnatural speed.
Would you say, he can turn back time?
He can turn forward time too.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But please continue.
Yes, that's all the little speech on him. That's everything. He's not a massive model or anything like that. He's just a standard Guardian of Souls with an hourglass.
And not to be rude, he looks a lot like all the others. He looks like a ghost.
He is. He looks a lot better than the original one.
Ghostist.
No. He's a spooky dude, but
he's a spooky boy.
That's all spooky dudes look like.
Yeah, it's kind of like the three brothers that Casper has. They kind of look the same.
Like no one really
looks fat one. Yeah. Is there two brothers or three in Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Sure.
I think that proves the point.
That's great.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't want to say all ghosts look the same.
This one does look better than the other Guardian of Souls, and his arms tend to stay on a lot longer as well. Because if anybody actually has a Guardian of Souls model, the original one, they just fall off. They don't.
Their arms fall off.
They just. You can put them on the sides, never touch it. That arm will drop off.
Speckles, what are you saying about Games Workshop model production?
I'm saying that they are not meant to have arms.
What?
They are not meant to have arms.
Have you stuck them on right?
The Guardian of Souls, they're armless.
They're armless. Why did their arms fall off?
I don't know. They just seem to just snap. They snap so easily.
You're a lunatic.
Oh. We'll ask the chat, see what they say. If there's anybody there with the Guardian of Souls and their arms are still on, I'd love to see that model. I'd love to see the glue mark where you stuck it back on.
Right, okay. So this guy can so we've done the review on the narrative.
Yes, done the narrative.
and the model.
The actual model.
Another model.
So the actual new model.
Yes.
But if you would like to proxy and or recreate that model,
You just need an hourglass.
Okay,
That's
good.
it.
Just hold, but don't put it on his arms. In his arms,
Jesus.
just drag them off.
Yeah,
There were 3.
Was there?
There was 3 goats. There was the 3 uncles: Stinky, Fatso, and Stretch. Donated that information by Mr. Bob Monkey Cheese.
They weren't brothers though.
They were the uncles of Casper.
Yeah.
They're brothers of each other, but not of Casper.
Yeah.
Brothers from other mothers.
No, not from. They're from the same mother.
No, but their other mother to Casper.
Yes. Agreed.
Right.
So.
So on that one.
We've done the narrative. We've done the model. Speckles, tell us why we should be interested in this particular model.
2 reasons to take that model.
Okay.
One for his spell, and one for the ability he has. So the normal Guardian of the Souls has an aura around it of 9 inches, which gives +1 or reroll 1s to wound. It's pretty decent, yeah. And his spell brings back models back into the unit, which is really good for a model that you need to summon back into. Whereas this one doesn't do any of that. He has a spell called...
And he's not a unique character.
Not a unique character.
That's important.
No, so you can take multiples of him, which could be horrific.
I know that Nathan doesn't know what this is going to do, so he's just like, what have you cooked up?
So I'll get the spell.
Tell me the good stuff.
The spell is Temporal Translocation. I'll read the narrative for this. Right, the power...
Narrative and finger marks. Why
Fluff.
Oh,
yeah. The power of the Mortality Glass enchantments can be inverted through dark sorcery, enabling the localized passage of time to occur in the blink of an eye. Temporal Translocation has a cast value of 6. If successfully cast, pick a friendly Nighthawk unit wholly within 24 of the caster, and you can make a normal move up to 6 inches with that unit.
So you get a 6-inch move.
Yeah, which is okay. When you add it with
in the hero phase.
In the hero phase.
And I can still move after.
Well, that's it. If this unit retreats as part of this move, it can still charge later in the same turn. Right. So if you're stuck in a combat, you can pull it out or move it over the top because it flies, and then move and then charge the next turn.
Sort those hags out, my friend.
That's what I mean. You throw it through, float through all the little witches, and chop out the hag, which is really, really strong. And it helped me at Bobo quite a lot.
Okay, so the ability to retreat and charge is obviously massive.
Yes.
Which is quite good, but also potential to just have a free 6-inch move in the hero phase.
Yes.
So 6 inches on top of a movement of, let's say, Grimghast that are movement 8.
Yeah.
So that's 14. Or Hex Wraiths, which are
12.
So that would be an 18-inch move from Hex Wraiths.
Mm-hmm. That do mortal wounds when they move over stuff.
Okay.
Which is bonkers. The other thing is the get the actual word for it. It's just the Mortality Glass itself.
The Mortality
Glass. The Mortality
Nathan,
Glass.
I can't wait for you to hear what this does.
The grave sands of Shaiish pour through the broke hourglass that felt enchantments bound within it, able to slow the actions of others to a virtual standstill.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
When enemy units within 9 inches of this model charge, roll a d6 instead of 2d6 when determining the distance they can move.
Well, so they only charge 1d6.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
It's
so
amazing.
Great.
It really... I played Alex Bruce at Bobo, and
lovely man.
It was a fantastic game, and I'd cast one of the death spells that gives him 1 dice charge with his eels. So they had that on him, and he needed to kill Arcan to try and stop me bringing my stuff back with his... what was it? He had his dragon that was coming in. But the Guardian of Souls stood next to Arcan, and he was 6 inches in. 3 inches away, but he still had to use 1 dice to charge, and he rolled a 1 with his eels first. And he thought, do I use the reroll from the hero with his 1 command ability? He's like, no, I need to get that hero dead. So he rolled for the dragon, got a 1, and then used the reroll to get it in. So he had to use up his reroll instead of smashing both lists. He just couldn't get to me. He had to use his command points. And it really, really helped. A lot of times people have tried to get to my Arcan or any of my other models I need to keep alive, and they just can't get to him.
That's great.
And then
I think in Shaiish there's also one of the realm spells is where it's -1 to charge as well. So you can make
You make it really hard.
Oh, that would be good.
1d6 minus 1.
You can a maximum of 2 inch. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
But the ability to put like more than one of this in your army,
yes,
it's kind of like Fanatics. It's not as effective or as useful as Fanatics, probably. But it's also a spellcaster, which is important in a Nighthaunt army.
Yeah, I mean, if you took 2, and you can do that spell on one unit, and then keep the other guy in with that unit to stop anyone charging them before they get to it.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And it makes your opponent question his movement. And a lot of the time they'll go, right, I need to go straight in that straight line, I need to kill Arcan, or kill the general, whoever, or get to the gold. You put that guy there, and then all of a sudden they've got to work out how to get around him or through him.
9-inch box.
Yeah, it's huge when it comes out, and then you think, well, I've got to go this way now instead of that way, or shall I just go in and risk the 3-inch charge and still fail, and then I'm right in his face, ready to get chewed out.
Even the 3-inch charge, even if you've got like incredible mobility, let's say when I talk about Centigors, or when you've got like something like Makadai, or you've got Reapers, or you've got Daughters, or even when you've got something super fast. It's only when you've got like Eels, which have the ability to have +6 to that charge.
Well, I played Gary at Bobo, and he had Sureheart with his +6 charge.
Yeah.
Now the Guardian was sat just there, and I think he still had to roll 1 dice. Even with that extra piling, it stopped him getting all the unit into it. So he struggled to get as many models in as he wanted. So a big unit, there might be 6 inches away. If he only rolls a 6, that's only the front line that's coming in.
Yeah.
But it really does. And if anyone past 6 inches doesn't have a buff, they just can't charge at all. Just flat stop. So no matter how many times I roll that 1 dice, it's still never going to get in.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's really, really good.
Yeah, like unbelievably good. Like
pay to win good.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So you find yourself a little hourglass and stick it on. Nathan, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
it's good.
A very nice little thing. I do like the extra 6-inch move in the hero phase as well.
Yeah.
That's great for moving up. Like if you want Nagash to move up and do some extra spells, he gets a bit closer, he can do a bit more damage.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't do it to Nagash because it has to be a Nighthaunt.
Okay.
But the way I've been using it is sticking my block of 20 Reapers on the front line with him there, move them 6 inches, then their movement 8, and if their unit is in front of you, it's quite a short charge, and then all of a sudden, turn 1, they think, Reapers aren't going to get me, they only move 8. Yeah, no, they're going to be in your face.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously increases the threat range of your whatever's going out there to stab stuff, but it's those extra moves in the hero phase are great for other little things that you don't think of.
Yeah, I mean
straight away. But like my list that I've been playing with, the End of Spells list, that's the main reason why I've taken Ravager, so that I try and get some of the movement in the hero phase, just so I can move wizards around and
then fire some spells off after.
Put the End of Spells, with a bit more accuracy where I want them.
Could you do that?
Yeah, could move himself.
Could you do another Nighthaunt wizard?
Yeah, I mean,
and then you could drop one of their End of Spells.
He is a Nighthaunt wizard. Oh yeah, he only has 1 spell, but you could just do it to another Guardian.
Wow.
Or any of the Nighthaunt
wizards.
Or the Batman, whatever his name was, the guy on the big winged horse. Grimhauler, yes. Yeah, I mean, he'd be insanely fast with 2 spells. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be awesome. And then you could, from that wizard, drop another spell, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could literally position him to get within range of a unit so he can cause 1 mortal wound to get +1 to cast as well. It could be really, really handy. And not named wizards, so stick in as many as you want.
And he doesn't really, this character doesn't do anything,
No, I mean, it's not combat.
You can't, it's not complicated, so you can't buff the character. But you can actually use the character to
buff more.
To buff other units. So what units were you thinking about using it on?
So you can use it on Hex Race, particularly. If it's in a Nighthaunt list, you can give him the Felt Pendant, I think it's called in the Nighthaunt, which gives any unit within 9, I think, or 12, +3 to their move. So you move them 6, then they're moving their 12 plus the 3 on top, and then they're anywhere you want, especially when they're moving 12. So
21-inch move.
21-inch move, and if a hex wraith unit goes over, over the unit on a 5+, it's a mortal wound. So you have a block of 10. That's quite a lot that's going to go through, and they're not going to move really. 10 hex wraith, that's 20 wounds with 4 up save.
Yeah, it's like 20. Did you say it was 10 hex wraiths?
10 hex wraiths, yeah.
I mean, it's expensive, but it's the same as it's the same wound profile as 40 Reapers, right?
20 Reapers.
Have they got 2 wounds each?
Hex wraiths have, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, wound profile. 40, yeah. Yeah, I mean it's good. And you can stick that in the formation as well to give them +1 to charge. And on a natural 9, they get that instant attack as well.
They get to attack twice because the 9/1 ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you're thinking, right? Taking the hex, taking the coach,
and then just being able launching them.
Yeah, just launching them forward.
Yeah. Mortal wounds. Maybe take the Knight of Shrouds on steeds +1 attack. So 6s do mortal wounds. So that's 3 attacks each. If you've got a big unit of 10, that's 30 odd attacks doing mortal wounds on the 6s. And then the rest of the damage going through as well.
Yeah.
Twice, particularly. Potentially twice.
It's cool, right?
Yeah. Or if you stick it in Legion.
But I think the thing that really triggers me is being able to only charge on a D6.
Yeah. It really holds back.
That will massively impact. Yeah. And realistically, I don't know why. So they can be allied. Can they be allied into death?
Yep. Completely fine. It's a Guardian of Souls. So if you ally it in with death and take.
Make death better.
Yeah.
Thought we were, cause they're not done well this weekend.
Well, they need a buff.
Appreciate that, Speckles. Thank you.
So
play those gut busters.
If you put it in a death list and you take the hex wraiths, yes, you can't give them that movement buff as well, but you can Van Hels them, and then you instantaneously get in 2 lots of attacks with a load of hex wraiths. Or Spirit Host move in 12 inches, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of attacks twice.
So how many points is this fella?
Good luck with the job.
How many points do you reckon he's worth for being a wizard? That has full access.
200.
Well, it's full access to the Nighthaunt's lore as well. Apart from he doesn't get the Guardian of Souls spells because it's the Nightmare Lantern.
So he's got that D6 debuff. He's got the spell, which is quite sweet. How many wounds?
5.
5 wounds
with a 4
save, flat 4.
Yeah, so he's got to be about 160, something like that. No?
Close 140. So it's not bad, I don't
think.
But
for 280 points, I could create like an 18-inch threat bubble where units couldn't charge on more than a D6.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, stick those 3 on the front line or stick it in a circle. Whatever's in the middle of it, nothing will get touched. So you can stick 3 of those with Nagash, and Nagash will never really get hit.
Yeah.
Because it will just be an ultimate buff of an aura going around him.
I'm not particularly enthused about this. At the top of the show, I was like, yeah, how cool is that? And I'm like, no, I've got to face it. Yes. It's going to suck. Nathan, what do you think?
Well, you just have to shoot them, I guess. Well, they're going to be -1 to be hit in shooting. Yeah. They're going to be.
Well, you can give a -1 to hit as well. For so one of the artifacts.
Yeah, you could make them -2. Then some of the end spells. Some of the death ones.
There's a Nighthaunt spell as well.
Out, he's like, could you stay out of 9 and roll 2 dice to charge? You absolutely could.
Yeah. But then you've got to make a 10-inch charge.
Well, 9-inch.
Well, 9-inch charge. No sports for using that, Speckles. I won a sports trophy this weekend using it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be done.
So I think that's actually incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And also it being part of the formation where you could potentially.
Well, it's not part of the formation. You just have the formation with it. Right. So, but it's not bad. I think it's just over 1,000 points for the flat amount that you need it for with him in it.
It's pretty devastating, really. Yeah. Okay. All right. Also, really fun, maybe, to just dash into the middle of a board.
Just go try it.
Just like stick it right in the middle and just be like, everyone's fucked.
Yeah.
Like that would be quite interesting. Because you only have to have a unit touching, right, to roll a d6.
Yeah. And then you could move that model, going, he's kept 9 inches away and he failed that charge. I'll just move this guy 6 inches forward with his own spell.
Yeah.
And then he won't be able to do it again.
Real Men Don't Flash said it can be part of a different formation and this spell can heal in addition to the move.
I think that's only with the Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern because you don't get access to that, and you don't because it's got extra spells. that the lantern guy has. I think that's the only way you'd get him in that formation. He might do, but you just wouldn't be able to heal much.
Yes.
It'd just be a... I suppose you could just stick it in that, yeah, I suppose.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's great, Nate. What's your final thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's great. He's a real good utility piece. If I could have one in one of my armies, I would take that.
If I could have that guy in my army, I would put him in there. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him, really.
Well, he's quite hard to get hold of.
He's hard to get hold of, and I think it's just been... Because it was store anniversary, everyone's like, nah, yeah, it's alright. And no one's really bothered with it. And then I've used it 2 tournaments now, and it's massively helped. It's just thrown off the opponents. The best thing about it is just throwing the opponent off, going, I don't know where I'm going to go now. My plan was to go forward. Now I've got to go around it. We'll have to deal with that first.
Yeah. Or somebody's pointed out one of the endless spells is an hourglass, isn't it? So just glue them together.
It's about that big, and the guy in Souls is about just a really long arm.
I quite rate the Night One spells. I've played against them a couple of times, and they're quite good.
Yeah.
But you can pick up hourglasses wherever you like, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just say.
Egg time.
Well, on the black coach you get a few anyway, I think.
Oh, there you go.
And they're about the right size. Just slot them in.
Solved. We've done it, boys. We've cracked it.
Done.
So, suggestion. I think that sounds like really a real positive, especially with the armies you're facing. Doesn't stop Stormcast with the plus command ability charges, and it doesn't stop Eels with their +6 to charge pointy men.
No.
But
you can still. I mean, you can stack it if you really want. Whereas if it's an Legion of Gash, there's a spell. I can't remember which one it is. Fading Vigor, and that's a 1 dice charge. So you stick it on the biggest unit, and they'll go, "Oh, it's fine. I'll just get a bit closer," and I'll be 6 inches away. 1 dice charge can still do it, or they'll have to move further around. No matter how much bonus they get, they still can't. Like what units gets 3 dice charge?
The Morghast Harbingers.
Yes, as well as the pigeons. Don't they get 3 dice charge?
The
Stormcast pigeons, the prosecutors.
Right.
Yes,
they get 3. So that'll be 1 dice off the spell and another dice off that.
Wow.
Stopping all of it, really.
Yes, I mean, you don't really tend to see either of those 2 units, but yeah, well, if it was a thing.
If it was a thing, yeah. But it's really good to just nuke out 2 units, and then they have to choose where they use the reroll from. Cool. Throwing away their command abilities.
Sounds like a good one. Let us know on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, what you think of that particular rundown.
You can review my rundown.
Exactly. You can go you can go onto the honest-wargamer website. We'll be in the show notes, and you go and check out Speckles' unit rundown. You spend some time on his day. Leave a comment. You want to comment on
Speckles? Yeah. You can tell me I'm the worst player in the world if you want. It's fine. There's some Bob Monkey Cheese. He has one for 50 quid.
Well, okay.
Bargain.
We'll put
almost double the
price as well. And thanks to everyone on Patreon and, of course, Twitch.
Don't upvote that.
Go for that. Right. Final show. You ready, Knife?
Yeah.
Welcome to the honest-wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined by Mr. Nathan Prescott.
Hello.
Sam Speckles.
Hello.
Woohoo! We're live on Twitch on a Monday with Unicron John, and Bob Wings Cheese, and Real Men Don't Flash.
And LLV1.
And the Adela Quit to Wargamer. Yes, all these boys. And we're going to do another unit rundown.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've written one, and it's on the honest-wargamer website. I'm going to be expanding on it, but it's about Centigor, because I've seen those bad boys being used recently.
You have. And they've got 4 legs, and you've only got 1.
I have 2, because one of them don't work great.
Not after the show. One hacksaw away.
The story for the Centigor are they are half men, half horse.
That what it says on the scroll. Half men, half horse.
What is it with you and animals? With weird half men, half animal things?
Because Rob's half legs as well at the minute.
He's got a thing for this mixed dubry.
A mixed dubry?
What words are you trying to say?
A dubry firkin.
He likes them bull centaurs, and now he's on about Centigors.
That's true, actually.
I'm about half men, half beasts. Yeah, man, bear, pig. That's me.
That's what you wait for, the man, bear, pig model to come out.
I cannot wait, though. So, I've written a list called Fast Striking Poison, the Centigor Rush. It's on the honest-wargamer. I include it in the notes. But this is effectively not super quick. The models, by the way, are very expensive. So this is a bit like, I don't know why I keep doing this, a bit like when I talked about Razordons. Super, like, you're like, I'm not going to be able to get hold of this many Centigor ever. But
just get one and then just make a cast of it. And that's it.
Fucking hell, Speckles. Jesus. Do you mean steel?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. That's Speckles' advice.
Yeah, scaffed.
But
just buy bull centaurs and
Just, yeah,
even more expensive.
Surely it would only be a much better model if it was a centaur instead of a bull centaur.
So I'll put the link in the chat for you guys.
Or chop one of those fake dwarves in half and stick it on top of a normal horse.
And they're also fine cast. So this is my review, by the way, of the model. They're also fine cast and ugly as sin.
They're a little bit gangly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even those hex rays are a little bit more oomph in them, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea. You could put gore in and stick them riding horses.
Or riding pigs or something.
Yeah. Just something. But they don't look great. My review of the model, 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
What about you two?
I've never seen a model.
I've seen the model.
I played against them the other day, but I
They did not look like Centigor. They look like square-based direwolves.
Yeah, put gore on direwolves.
Yeah.
Or on chaos hounds.
Yeah.
Job's a good one.
Job's a good one. Alright, so the narrative is they're half beast, half men, and then they look rubbish. But why am I talking about them? It's because they're crazy, crazy fast. And Nath, what's my favourite bit about dryads?
Sticks.
Any other thoughts?
Tinder?
This is where we're going. Sticks. Tinder. I like your thinking. Yeah, they're really dry. Greatest Tinder. Could start a fire with them really easy. No, you like dryads because they're.
What are you thinking?
Dryads have.
These jokes are getting a bit wooden, aren't they?
Oh my god.
The splinters.
Dryads have a natural. They have inside their war scroll a natural. A bit like your Unforged, Nathan. They have a natural +1 to something. So your Unforged has a natural +1 to hit.
+1 to wound.
+1 to wound. Obviously, you've got like things like the Tenebral Shard that has a natural +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So anything that triggers on a 6+, is like a natural to give them things like that. So Centigor already have a natural. This is by the. I'm stealing this off a friend, so I just want everyone to be aware of that.
Friend?
Yeah, but I can't mention his name.
Oh, okay. Imaginary friend.
Yeah, he goes to another school.
Does he have 2 legs?
He has, but he's so top heavy, like real weighty fella. But he is going to the gym. He's trying really hard, and then drinks Monster Energy, which is just full of sugar. So Centigor have a natural +1 to hit, and you can also put them in a Nurgle Force. So you could give them base
The +1 to hit is great.
Yes, I was about to say it's a really good ability name.
Yeah, they get drunk as skunks. So let's go through the war scroll first, and then we'll do that.
Legless. That's why he likes them.
Legless.
Legless, like you.
I've got 2 leg speckles, you dick. Yeah, I'm covered in bloody legs. Does anyone seen? If you got the war scroll, please, gentlemen.
Yes, I can get that. We should have prepared for this, shouldn't we, really?
Unicorn John, I love going against the grain.
Centigor.
For dealing with us this Monday. You've got big.
I think Nathan should read it out.
Go on, Nate.
Yeah. I do like your rundown readings. I go to bed at night all tucked in listening.
Go on, Nate.
Centigors.
Yeah.
With man-like torsos and the bounding lower bodies of 4-legged beasts, the Centigors charge towards their foes in a drunken rage.
Of course.
Braying loudly as they plunge their spears into trembling ranks before them. Okay. A unit of Centigors can have any number of models, and each armed with a Centigor spear, a beast buckler, and 4 clawed forelimbs.
Okay, cool. So they have got a 5-up save and 2 wounds each, and you start off with a unit of 5, and you can have units between 5 and 20. That unit of 5 initially is 80 points, so cheap as chips.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which is
how many points?
80.
Wow.
That's mental.
Right, yes. Lose the rock, I do have a case of trench foot. So, and what's their movement value?
14.
Super fast.
That looks like a 14.
But it's not a 14. So they move 14, you've got 5 saving, their bravery is
5. That's a bit
so
pants.
That's very pants. So you're going to need to make sure you support them with the
That's
counters. So don't
one
worry.
more than my squig hoppers.
Yeah, you're right. It's only really 2 or 3 less than a Stormcast, so it's basically fine.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Stormcasts are like 10 now anyway, aren't they?
So they got, with their spears, they got 2 attacks each. 4s and 4s, no rend 1 damage. And then with their forklimbs, 5s and 5s, no rend 1 damage.
Well, it's also range 2 as well.
It is also range 2.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up more. But so they move 14, which is obviously great. And then they've got a couple of special abilities. Number 1, because they're instrument dude, they're able to run and charge. And they also are able to add +1 to pile-ins and +1 to runs. So if you run them, they're movement 15 because it's an auto +1, and then you roll a d6. So they're always movement 16 and can charge.
Yeah.
Up to movement 20 and can charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going some
21
speed.
What is it?
21.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
Sorry. So 21. Now, what's really cool is you're able to take different War Scroll battalions in the Beast of Chaos list. Oh, sorry, and also they've got the drunken.
Oh, the best thing.
Right?
Where's that? Yeah, it's a drunken revelry. Revelry.
And that allows you to have. You declare in the hero phase, you're allowed to have +1 to hit in the combat phase, but it means you're also +1 to hit.
Yeah, people that target you are +1 to hit.
And you also get a 4-up save in combat because of the buckler shield.
Yeah.
So they're pretty brilliant. They're incredibly fast. Yeah. They've got some okay survivability because it's 10 wounds with a 4-up save. They're 80 points.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And that would mean that a +1 to hit would mean that they get they hit on 3s, wound on 4s, and they hit on 4s and wound on 5s as a 4 claims. But when they charge with their spears, they also get to reroll to wound.
Yeah.
So it'd be 3s and 4s re-rolling.
3s rerolling 4s, on the charge. So they're just phenomenal. Yeah. They really have got a warehouse full of these Centigors, and they're like, we need to shift these.
Yeah.
And they're 80 points. But if you take them in a Pestilent Throng battalion, which is the one you find inside Beast of Chaos book, which means because you've done that, they all get the keyword Nurgle, which means you're then able to take that battalion inside of a Magickin army. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So if you take them inside of that, you now get access to all of the Magickin abilities. And that's pretty important because they've got some really silly things.
Yeah.
They've got, obviously, the wheel, which gives you +3 to your movement.
On one of the things,
On the contagion wheel.
Yeah, so 24 movement.
Which is great. Yeah, they don't need to run and charge from the Feculent Armor, so that's really useful.
Yeah.
You can just do that naturally. Which is awesome. If you put them near a great and clean one, they obviously can add +3 inches.
Yeah,
to
from
charge.
the bell.
From the bell.
27.
27.
A
Fantastic.
Beast Lord can give them +.
No, so if you take a Great Bray Shaman, which is part of the War Scroll Battalion that you can, any Bray Herd units near them, wholly within 12 inches, get to add +3 inches to their movement.
Which is straight 30.
So now we're on 30, right? And then, if you really want to, you could cast Chronomantic Cogs. So you're now, because you add in +2.
32 inches.
32-inch movement.
So, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could do that.
Just run it.
You probably want to just
Go around the table.
keep running around.
Can't catch me, lads, can't catch me.
Ben Hur.
If there's ever a scenario where you have to tag, a unit has to tag an objective and just carry it around, they are the unit for it.
Yeah, so Colonel Cameron just pointed out, I suspect you go Nurgle, but there is a spell to give them +1 to wound. What's really cool is if you go Nurgle, is you can take a Plague Priest, and a Plague Priest will naturally give them +1 to wound as well, within 13 inches, if you want to stack them.
If you can catch up with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got some units that can... So this unit can be redonkulous fast. Yeah. I actually think going into Nurgle, some of those elements like the cogs and maybe even the Grey and Clean one aren't necessary. Because...
Why do you need to move beyond 25?
Yeah, 25 is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that'll do. But... and that would be with the Brave Shaman. But Grey and Clean one you can take. Now you could take the Glockin to make them better as well. And then he obviously could give a +1 wound characteristic until the next hero phase. So that would mean that you would have, if your unit of 5 would have 3 wounds each with a 4-up save in close combat, so they'd be Chaos Knights now.
Yeah.
And they'd be 80 points. It would take the Glockin to do it. And you could also give them, use his command ability and then give them +1 attack.
You're not going to use many points for 80 points for 5.
No, it's a great little unit.
Yeah.
You could also, you could take a Chaos Sorcerer, a Nurgle one specifically, that's important, a Mortal one because it gives you access to Blades of Putrefaction. You could also take a Chaos Sorcerer Lord because he's got reroll 1s to hit, reroll 1s to wound. Reroll 1s to wound isn't that big a deal, but the reroll 1s to hit is quite useful. And then also he's got Ocular Vision, so reroll 1 saves. So a unit of 5 of these, if you only wanted to take 5, not forgetting to take 20, could be doing, depending on how I mean, if you just gave them the plus attacks from the Glockin, they could have 3 attacks each with +1 to hit.
So mortal wounding on 5s.
Mortal wounding on 5s because you cast Blades of Putrefaction on them, and then you've given them a 4-up save, reroll it once.
It's not bad, that little 80-point unit.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't have to be an 80-point unit. It can be a 320-point unit, and then it can be
20.
6 attacks each times 20.
A lot.
120.
A lot.
120, and then so a third of those are mortal wounds.
40.
That's 40 mortal wounds. And then if something survives it once they hit it back, you've got a 4-up save reroll it once, which is pretty decent. Now they have got +1 to hit you, which is devastating. But that's not 360 points for that. That is a devastating unit.
That's not,
and they'll deal with those space as well that everyone keeps bitching about.
It'll just take up masses of ball space as well. That many. What is that? 20. That's a huge footprint as well. That will block a lot of stuff. So if you want to play Legion of Gas, that'll take all the grave sites out in one turn. You can block them all.
Yeah.
And kill Nagash.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't reach him because he's got 3 Guardians of the Souls right around him. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've got loads, and you've got loads of other spells you can cast as well. But effectively, like I think that's the Nurgle version. It's another kind of. If you go on the website, there's the Drone Strike list by Pete Pratt. Written on the honest-wargamer website, so it's a bit like that methodology of you've got the War Squad battalions, you've got an extra artifact, extra commander point, which is really cool, and obviously it really reduces how many drops you've got there.
Yeah, massive.
But the capacity to just run forward and just nuke stuff is real, and it's not expensive as a unit.
No.
It's cheaper than your Grimghasts.
Yeah,
it
a lot cheaper than the Hex Race.
It kills the Daughters, kills the Sequitors. Probably just get back on a 5-up, but it still kills them.
Is there any way to make them fly? Well, I was thinking the only thing that they're going to do. I mean logistically,
they are beastmen. If they just mutate some wings,
the speed of them are great, but then when they hit the chaff wall, they're still stuck. So as fast as they are, they still can't get over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. But you could take things like Ungod Raiders and do some like minimal shooting to clear like those sorts of screens, which is something that there's got loads of potential for. I mean, these guys seem like natural buddies with Plague Monks. So what I really like about Darren's list that I saw him take to the GT Heat finals was it was their Khorne fuck me, fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck me list, which was like they're dying, you're dying. And what's really cool about Plague Monks in a Nurgle army is they kind of do that similar job that Wrathmongers or Blood Warriors do.
Yeah, you don't want to hit them, but they're going to hit you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think? I think that's I don't want to. I don't like it. I don't like that they're 80 points. If I'm honest.
No. Not when you can do all that to them. The thing that puts you off is those models.
They're on the same size base as Salamanders, Resonons, same size base as cavalry. They're on a cavalry base, like the small cavalry bases. So with 20 of them, you could take up an incredible amount of board space.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's huge.
If you just flood the board.
Yeah.
Bravery would be an issue though with a unit of that size. So Rage Owl, thanks for subscribing.
Bravery would be 5, 6, 7. 7. We're just on their own. It's not bad. It's a great. The only thing that's stopping you is the fact that the actual model looks pretty pants. Unless you can Just
That
make
might be
your
the
own.
theme of my rundowns for the rest
Just
of
gone.
2018.
They look rubbish.
Just models that look shit, but,
But actually really good. It's why you don't see them on the board, because somebody looks at it and goes, that looks like crap. Watch what it can do though.
Yeah, I mean, you could comfortably put 40 of those on the board, and it still would be sub 700. No, it wouldn't be. It'd just be just over 700 points. But you could do wave 1, Rohirrim 1, and then Rohirrim 2.
On the third day.
On the third day, look to the gross, pestilent-led Centigor on the field. Give them the corn keyword and take a blood scrape to ignore morale, says Ikusa. So yeah, so this, what's really cool about this is only them in a corn army.
Nurgle army.
Nurgle army, sorry. Me and Nikos did a show once where we did Demon Princes for 40k, but we did them with all the ways you could build them. It was just too much. So this is them just in a Nurgle army, but I will update my unit rundown on the website so that it's got all of the different allegiances, which is actually quite vast.
Yeah.
You could do them as each army, but this is the +1 to hit is what makes these really suitable for a Nurgle army.
Yeah,
because it makes blatant putrefaction happen. And also, even then, Nath, if you were to have your netters out, they would still be hitting on 6s, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be 120 attacks that you could generate, and then 1/6 of them would do a mortal wound, which is still okay.
And with the movement 30, they just wrap round them regardless.
Yeah. I mean, in that battle, when I played against them, they weren't that choppy, but then they were affected they got hit by the 5-up off the palisades as well as...
So -1 to hit.
They were -2 a lot of the time,
Yeah.
That tends to stop a lot of things, really.
That stops anything, really.
But, but they still cleared a load of stuff and snuck around the back and started chopping up my war machines. And
we'll have to do a horse-off. My Hexwraith versus your Centigor.
I will never buy this many Centigors. I'm just saying it's an army you can
You
if
can.
you want to. I personally think I prefer Plague Monks because you get more bodies.
They just don't have the speed at all.
But they are
Well,
so
not compared
fast.
to... They're not 30 though, are they?
No, they're not. No, you're right.
Yeah.
They're absolutely. They're not 30. You're right. But if you put the Nullmore down, 30 is ridiculous. Like you'll be able to slip them all over the board. It would be just crazy and over the top.
It's like, imagine going to your opponent, what do they do? Oh, they're alright. What's their movement? 30. Excuse me, what? Where do I deploy now?
Well, I mean, because of all the major threats already in the
Yeah.
game, people should be screening and having units to screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, I mean, they do change your deployment a lot.
Yeah.
But playing a Beasts of Chaos, you do tend to end up building a castle a lot of the time because they are just super fast.
too fast.
Fly across the board. And then there are options where they can come on ambush you as well. So,
Yeah, crazy. Hi Dan HDW and Wargamer. Hello lads. Hello everyone. That's it. That's all I can really say about them so far. I mean, there are other ways to like I said, a Plague Priest is also something, so you get +1 to wound. So yeah, Speckles, when you're not doing the mortal wounds, you're also hitting on 3s or hitting on 4s, and then you are then wounding with either on 4s or 5s. But with a Plague Priest, you'd be wounded on 3s, and then you could be re-rolling all those 3s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So 60 of those attacks would be re-rollable 3+s to wound. No rend, but it's still
a weight of attacks, which is what Nighthaunt don't like.
or Witch Elves.
There's masses of attacks.
Or Kadai Fireball.
Yeah. Well, you go near those, you just die.
Yeah. So what's nice is you can kind of like kill the Sequitors, but you can also kill the Grimghast Reapers all at the same time. And in the who's faster race,
You'll outspeed the Hexwraiths. Yeah, massively.
yeah, that's
I'm just thinking, I was like, is there any other way I can get it to go faster?
but they're fast, right?
Super fast.
Nate, what do you think of them? Do you think they've got legs?
Yeah.
They are the greyhound of the dog racing, I suppose.
No, they're great for 80 points as well. It's,
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Just shame it costs £80 to
Just
buy
try
them.
and think of 80-point units in your army and you think, wow, these guys...
I mean, if you
beat the
took away
socks
all
off
those
them.
buffs and you were like, they're 80 points, we did that on the original show, right?
Yeah.
We were like, these are crazy good. But now, when you go, okay, That's really decent. And I mean, the Beast of Chaos Army, they're actually really good if you can drop all the rend. But I actually want to do a big shout out to Par, who's in the chat, because I'm not smart enough to have this conversation today. But one of the things he brought up at Crimbobo was the fact that he's been running Beast of Chaos Army, but he doesn't really like it because it's all based on spell-based synergy, which led me to do a very complicated tweet. It was, what was my chance to cast something if someone can unbind something? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I think I read that tweet and looked at it and went, yeah, just no idea.
Effectively. But basically what he's saying is because there are basically 3 types of not synergy, but you've got spell-based stuff, like Blades of Putrefaction in this list, that happens, and obviously then it's percentage-based chance, like, so me versus you casting, like, obviously I've got to cast it and then you've got to not stop it, but it's harder for you to stop than it is for me to cast it. Yeah,
and also if you deploy your wizard more than 30 away, then...
You can't stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless you're Seraphon, or, like, it's my ability to get my my spell off is based on my matchup. Like, if I'm playing the unbind power of, like, an Arcan or a Nagash, I'm in a much worse place than if I'm just playing... Or a Rune Lord, even. I'm in a much worse place than if I'm playing Courage and Overlords who have none.
Yeah, exactly. But then, always with those wizards, just think if you're like with the thing about the Centigor is they're that fast. You're looking at an Alpha Strike army, really. So you probably... I mean, a lot of Alpha Strikes would like to take the second turn so that you're
out there ready for
it. So you move a bit closer and they can surround you and wallop you. But, I mean, with these guys, you're probably quite happy to take the first turn.
Yeah, because you get there first turn.
So just make sure you're deploying your wizard outside of 30.
Yeah. But
they're guaranteed not to have to combat, something else that's going to stop you.
Yeah, unless you play Seraphon as well, which is infinite. No one dark...
The number one Darkling cover.
Steve Dooley. Not only has he worked out how to use the Twitch chat, he's also donated 500 bits.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. Yeah. He used all of his technology skills in dancing. So thanks, Steve. That's really awesome of you.
He's a lucky man to have that status.
What, number one Darkling cover player in the world?
I wanted the number one Arcan, but I just can't get it.
You can't get it?
Well, I am. In points for points, I'm the number one Arcan player on the rankings. But because they're put on wrong, it just says Legion and Nagash, and now I've not got the points. So I don't have that little status.
Are you upset by that?
I was like, but Arcan's mine. Mr. Rust Veal has it instead. For getting his 100 points for winning Bobo. Blood and Glory. Stole it away. Is that showing off?
It's showing off. Yeah.
Have you not seen? It's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Look at that, all the love hearts. So one of the things, so to get back to on track, sorry. So when you've got spell-based synergy, it could be difficult because it's matchup dependent, right? Whereas if you move on to prayer-based synergy, it's just dice dependent. Like I can stop it. If I just got to roll 3+. Yeah, to be able to get that synergy to happen. So that's more reliable. I just thought this would be a great piece of advice, and it's probably something I'm going to stick in the workbook, maybe just for Age of Sigmar. But so if you do that, and then you've just got things like. So you've got resource dependent, so you've got command abilities, which obviously will require those CPs to do, but then you have stuff that doesn't require anything. For instance, the ability to just point at a unit and say you get +3 to charge.
Yeah.
The ability to just have rerolls to charge.
Or -1 dice charge.
Yeah, just inbuilt inside the war scroll, right? So, like, realistically, as you go further along that scale, the likelihood that you're going to get off the way your army is going to play is more reliable and therefore better, like in its consistency. So, like, there's something to be really conscious of with things like this Centigor rundown and other rundowns.
Yeah.
If it's spell based, it's at the very most risky end of that
spectrum.
Sure, I don't know what we call it. Scale.
Yeah. Sliding scale.
Yeah.
And yes, you can.
You draw the screen, Rob. Why are you hiding this? I'm not hiding it. I just am letting everyone know that I can draw on the screen now. I can do like little swirly lines. Woohoo! So the next time we do some live commentary, get ready.
You get to draw beers on everything.
Nathan's going to say things like, "Oh, Rob, I reckon if we just like defend this line here, but then we like make a central push upwards, and then we make a small defensive screen at the bottom." Yeah, and then I'll be like, "Okay, I agree with you."
I think that would work.
Huh?
I think that's my next deployment. I think.
Delicious Laval. Wait, there's a joke in here, leg-based joke. Can you guys read it?
It came off our chat section.
A fellow was driving down the road, a country road, when a bunch of chickens run past the car and overtake them. Curious, he follows them to a small farm. He sees the farmer and goes to ask him, "How is chickens so fast?" Farmer replies, "Well, I bred them specifically to have 3 legs. One for me, one for the wife, and one for my son." "How do they taste?" asked the driver. "Don't know. Can't bloody catch them." Wow.
You should find one of those chickens, Rob. You can take one of their legs.
So anything else to add to that rundown, dudes? What do you think of that? Cool, yeah, no?
Cool.
Definitely. And well worth their points, aren't they?
Yeah, ridiculously well.
They are too good for their points.
Well, there's a lot of things like that. The older models, like the Salamanders and the Razordons that you think...
Shut up, Speckles, don't mention them.
Oh, really? Really?
Don't mention the Salamanders.
Super fast, super strong. So strong!
Don't talk about them, they're mine. Hi guys, have you ever addressed any of your, in any of your discussions, what is the proper amount of scenery in a game? We have not.
No.
Because there's also the discussion of whether or not you should bring your own scenery.
Yeah, I heard quite a lot about that.
Oh my god!
It doesn't bother me either way.
Maybe that's what we could do next week. We could do a couple of shows on some meta stuff.
Etiquette.
Etiquette's a good one because I actually do want to talk about what the Australians do. The Bendigo Bash Boys sent me their etiquette pack, and me and Dan and Nathan had a big old chat about etiquette, which actually I thought was great and was really in keeping with. Nathan, I thought, with the philosophy of like solid gaming.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I agree. I liked that pack, and I think it's just a little checklist to remind you of things that you should be trying to do when you're playing your game.
Yeah,
and make it better for yourself, better for your opponent, and just makes it a nice, clean game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Punch gloves. Let's get
punch gloves. Yeah. Like even in boxing, when you're trying to literally knock the other human being unconscious, there's a code of etiquette on how to behave. Like, and that's like I think a tantamount key conversation that we've seen happen today. But we haven't prepped for that, so we'll do that next week.
I do think one of the weirdest but most useful, even though it's going to sound quite funny, the best that I remember Heel and Hammer, the old podcast was really, really good with Dan Heelan and Wayne Kemp, and they had a big thing about things to do in gaming and tournaments. If you first go to a tournament, just a few things just to bring you in a bit nicer. And one of the weirdest things that he said, which makes the most sense, is deodorant. Lots of deodorant.
Oh my God.
I think but how many tournaments have you been to?
I think we're beyond that, Speckles.
I don't know. I think it's a really good thing. Some tournaments you go to, you think.
Do you not really think we're beyond that as a community? I think we're beyond that as a community.
I don't know. Last Sunday there was.
Just because I've got my foot out right now.
Well, yeah, I've got the smell of almonds coming across from me.
Oh no! Get the saw out.
No, I think there's a few great gamers that I've been past and think, oh, it's bad.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Not for me,
Not for
Nathan.
you? There's lots of drive-bys, I know that. A drive-by? No?
What's that?
I mean, just a sneaky fart out and just carry on walking.
Oh, everyone
just
farts.
drives by it. It's
Everyone
like,
farts.
yeah, but then you look around going,
I don't know how you can.
Oh, you can let go, it's fine,
farts.
but it's when they drive by and just leave it with
My
you.
girlfriend all the time, she's like, why are you fine? And I'm like, I can't not fart. I'll get wind.
Yeah, but that's fine, but just don't drop it off somebody else, blame them and walk off.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. You drive by, you drop it there, and then you're gone. And then your opponent's going, oh.
Are you against doing that?
Yeah, against drive-bys. Own it. or not at all. That's it. I did that. Sorry, that was me. I'm proud. Not this guy over there just walked past me.
I'm ashamed and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm ashamed. Really sorry. Yeah. Not. What's that? I promise you, it wasn't me. This guy just walked past. It's him over there. Yeah, of course it is.
I honestly don't think everyone smells.
Not everybody. No, definitely not. But I just thought it was a good thing that I've always stuck on my head since. Done. Okay.
Also, FYI, Mazva says, I think this is a serious tactic. Also,
it does. It fucks with your mind.
Dick J. Fowler, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. Really appreciate it.
Yes, it is Deadpool as well.
Wow, Speckles has seen a film that's not terrible.
I've seen 2 good films. It's just your girlfriend seems to think the opposite.
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts isn't good.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Yeah, everyone happy with that? Nathan, you got anything you want to add?
That's just rounded off so nice.
Nathan, you got any units you want to shout out? Chapter Master of Alright, thanks for subscribing 2 months in a row. You got anything you want to add to the just the show generally today before we wrap up?
No, so obviously I played against the Centigor over the weekend.
Yeah.
And yes, they were dead fast. And I played against the Nurgle Beast Chaos list, and I think it's pretty handy. It's a good list.
The Nurgle Beast of Chaos list.
Yeah. But it played it as a Magican. So it's the Nurgle Beast of Chaos formation in a Magican army.
Right.
And it's pretty sweet. Yeah, and obviously, and it still builds up all those contagion points because you're that fast as well. You're building up those points. Yep. Just makes summoning super strong as well. Just an extra layer, isn't it? So
of better.
Yeah.
Party UK, thanks for subscribing for 9 months in a row. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's actually got lots of legs. This the Beast of Chaos in other factions.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, when we looked at the book, I think it was pretty good inside its own book. But as you look at the other where it goes into the other Chaos Gods, then they get pretty good.
Pretty good. Chat is actually eating the remains of some garlic butter.
What's going on?
So it's thanks to everyone from the Honest Wargamer. We'll see you next week. If I'm alive.
Yeah. 1 leg or 2.
Huh?
1 leg or 2.
Yeah, we should be fine. I think so.
You don't need legs to do a podcast.
Yeah, you're fine.
You don't, or a TV show,
no,
or any of them things. You're right. That's why I'm pretty confident. What else? That's it. I think we've nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good.
You guys got anything? Do you remind me of? Everyone's going to listen like, what is wrong?
What is going on? No, nothing that needs reminding of. I don't think.
No. Come on, make it sound professional. Do something.
Good evening.
Oh my god. Cheers, Paul. Thanks to everyone. Scar Blood Wrath, Harrylicious, JJ, John mentioned about the dice pre-orders. Also, we have some dice pre-orders available for the Honest Wargamer. If you go on our website and you click merch or store, that will take you to where you can do a pre-order for dice if you would like to pre-order some dice.
Cool. Do you need to get some dice?
We're going to order them.
I shall get some dice. They're good. When you shout Roblin and it actually turns up, you're like, yes. When you shout Roblin, it doesn't. You go, fucking Rob. That's it.
We're also doing some. Don't forget, we've got loads of coverage next year from all the different
What's the first one next year?
We're doing a 40k one in the middle of the year, middle of January, and then end of January. We're going to CanCon. Also next week. Oh yeah, forgot about this. Nailed it. Next week we have a surprise new show launching on the Honest Wargamer. So we've got a new show launching, we should be able to see next week.
Cool.
Which is cool. Any guesses? Nathan, I think I told you to actually say.
You told me, not you, but yeah.
Have I told you? Have I told you?
You probably have, but...
I don't think so. Is it...
It's the Dispossessed Weekly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dispossessed Weekly.
It's just you going, the Dispossessed are good again. That's the show.
This is why we don't play. Because we'll beat everybody.
Yes. So you get to see that show next week, which I'm really excited about. The stats show should be back, which will be different to the Monday show. Monday show will be rundowns, but maybe it'll be that interesting subject of etiquette tournamenting. And also how many pieces of scenery you should bring. I personally think 30 massive pieces of scenery, so I can retake my Night Horizon list.
toot the lot.
Huh?
He toot the lot.
Toot it all.
Toot it all.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you very much to Simon, who's been a wonderful human being.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being a wonderful human being. You guys are great. And also thanks to everyone on the Twitch chat. You guys are great. And
Skirmish, yeah.
Skirmish next week.
Yeah, let's play skirmish.